What's going on YouTube? This is gonna be going on. There's a couple of days to the end of the week. This weekend there's gonna be a white supremacist rally in San Francisco on Saturday, and then there's another one on Sunday in Berkeley. People call these things protests or whatever. I call them rallies because they're not protesting anything. Just out there rabble rousing, if you will. But I thought I would give a little bit of analysis as far as the Charlottesville incident. Going a little bit into that. But I had a chance to watch like a few angles of the video, and what stood out to me is that the people involved in these rallies it looked like a lot of nerds, like a lot of like tech geeks and shit like that. So it was strange. I was telling people that, and then a couple other people made some comments. I saw there was Michael Rappaport. He came on. I saw him. He had like a little vlog where he was talking about they were nerds, and I saw that. I was like, that's exactly what I was saying. These guys don't look like anything. But yeah, there's one of them that had gotten arrested, and he was all shook up and shit, and crying and talking about he thought they were gonna kill him and all kind of bullshit. So the one that got arrested, it was for pepper spraying a counter protester at that particular rally. So the content, the type of people involved in these, man, they're not your typical or your stereotypical, I should say, white supremacists. Like people always say that the deflection is that white supremacists are these lower rung, poor white people, and disgruntled workers, that are fighting for their jobs and things like that. But these people are come from a broad swath of society. And I was listening to a professor that studied white supremacy, and he was saying that, which makes perfect sense to me, because I'm the type of person, I subscribe to. People always say, like, you can't say all white people, and I never say all white people or anything, but in generally speaking, white people have a propensity for white supremacy, just in general, and that's pretty much what he was saying. This was a white scholar. This wasn't a black scholar or anything like that, to discredit what I'm saying. But what he was saying, that they came from a large swath of society, and there was no precursors to determine whether or not a person was going to turn into a white supremacist. So there are doctors, lawyers, educators, people came from everywhere to become a white supremacist. It wasn't like disgruntled poor white people that they try to deflect that onto, to say that this is just a marginalized portion of society, that they're just they're in the wings. They don't have a whole lot of like pull in society. They're on the fringes. But to the contrary, that's not the fact. The facts are that These people are interwoven throughout our society on every level, from the janitor all the way up until the president. And it turns out to be the president of the United States, or president of the companies. They're everywhere, you know. And there's no predisposition. So a person could be perfectly fine one minute, and a white supremacist the next. You know? And from what he was saying, white folks have a predisposition for this white supremacy. You know, and it's sad but true. And also, I mean, and I may get flack for this. People, they like to call black people racist, or you know, they say these things. And I tell people all the time, and a black person could be a bigot, you know, and they can have not like white people. They can call them names or what have you. But there's no power structure there to enact anything. So if you look at all the institutions of the United States, from the educational system, financial system, the judicial system, you're going to see that no matter what system you're in, there are inhibiting factors in there, as far as them being open to either accept white, black or people of color into their ranks, or actually have a part of the oppression. That's through all, you know what I mean, through all accounts of society. So if I were to call a white person a cracker, that's not gonna do anything to them. But if I hear a person call me a nigger, and they happen to be a president of the bank, I can almost guarantee that I'm not gonna get a loan there, or there's gonna be some repercussions for me. There's not gonna be any repercussions for them, and there's more activity, I should say, for oppression coming from the other side. Black people don't get around and get together and make white jokes. You know, we don't study the shit that hard. You know, we're not making it very. I don't even know any white jokes. You know, like I don't know. Like there's a lot of black jokes out there, but I've never heard any, and none of my counterparts have never said any. There's no white jokes. So if there are some, let me know, because I don't. There's nothing that I heard that I can recall offhand. But that's all I have to say about that. Is because you can see like there's a lot of rhetoric. You can hear like the rhetoric all the time. It's always, and you can tell when you and you guys can do this on your own. Analyze when you analyze the news. Don't try to avoid having emotional responses, and think about the words that they're using, and think about their tactics. Like you can see that there's always some type of deflection. Nobody wants to answer a question. Like you ask them, they're asked direct questions regarding like white supremacy, and there's always like some weird answer. Now I equate that to an altered. There's an alt. You know, they have to talk about this alt-right. There's an alt reality out there as well. There's a reality of white folks have their own reality, I should say. I'm just when I say white people, I say in general. And in general, a lot of these things are true. There's so few good apples. I believe that it's not even worth just saying some. Let's just say in general is good enough to blanket, because you can talk to any, you can even talk to your closest friend, this white person. If you talk to them long enough, they're gonna say something. They're gonna say something stupid. You know, because my friends do that too, and they say shit stupid. So I tell them when they do. I don't play that. You're my friend, so I'm gonna give you a pass shit. I'll tell you exactly what the fuck you're talking about. So that in general, you know what I mean, they're all either victims or actual participants in white supremacy. So when I say in general, generally speaking, a lot of these things are true. I'll lose my friend of shit. So it's too early in the morning. Had some coffee for the first time today in a long time. Either it's not working or it's about to make me go to sleep. So, but I say these things. I'm not a bigoted person, but as far as the news, like paying the snap back on track for a second. You have to pay attention to these words that they use, because this altered state of reality is a reality that doesn't see humanity. There's something, I don't know how to, I haven't unlocked the whole, unpackaged the whole thing and analyzed it very in depth, but I can see it. I can see that there's the altered state of reality that I'm talking about is a reality that they can look at, say, a unarmed person getting shot on TV, a video that somebody shot. They can see that and immediately think the person was doing something wrong. Even if they're unarmed, they get shot in the back or choked out or whatever it is, they immediately, there's no disgust in that. You know what I mean? That's an altered state of reality that's not based in anything factual. Because I can see it. It doesn't matter who's getting shot or choked out by the police. I see a human being there that's getting treated unfairly. You know what I mean? I don't have any of these filters in place that prevent me from seeing the truth. You know, which is a lot of the times what's going on with him. And you can see it's socially acceptable nowadays to do that. So they see persons and they automatically want to snap into the frame of they must have been doing something wrong. They're a criminal. In the case of Alton Sterling, where the guy was selling CDs or what have you outside of a store, convenience store. I mean, these people are trying to make a living. They're not. I mean, you see a person selling CDs, or you immediately see a criminal. I mean, he might not have a permit to sell CDs, but this person is trying to feed their family. You know what I mean? They're not out here. They're not selling drugs. They're out here selling CDs. You know what I mean? Same case with the person in New York. I forget his name, but the one that was selling cigarettes, loose cigarettes, which are singles. He's selling single cigarettes outside of just on the street corner or whatever. I mean, there's a lot worse things you could be doing than he could be robbing people. You know what I mean? People would get robbed, but this person is selling loose cigarettes. So I mean, if you lose your life, if you're losing your life for, and then this is a reoccurring theme among people of color and black people in particular, that no matter how small the infraction, jaywalking, you know what I mean, it could be anything. You're liable to lose your life, or the penalty for breaking such small, insignificant laws far outweigh the crime. I mean, the penalty far outweighs the crime. So you can spit on the concrete and you'll get they'll crack down on you like you just robbed the whole neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like it's not even It doesn't make sense. You can listen to some of this. You can go to Spotify and look up Noam Chomsky, which is cool. You can listen to Noam Chomsky on Spotify. That's awesome. Listen to Noam Chomsky. He has a lecture. Well, it's an extended lecture, but there's a section of this lecture called the criminalization of black life. Listen to that. You know what I mean? Listen to that. And there's other resources out there as well that show, because one of the narratives that my white brothers and sisters talk about are there's, you know, slavery was over such and such years ago. You know, you need to get over it. You know what I mean? Like, when slavery was over, everything was good. You know, like you can get jobs, you can move about freely. You know, and where this was not the case. You know, see, there's documented that slavery, actual physical slavery, was not over until into the 40s. I'm not talking about widespread, but there was still active slavery going on into the 40s, into the 1940s. And so there's a document out there. There's a government memo saying that they need to, I believe it's an FBI document, they need to look into the people are retaining slave labor in the South. I mean, like, there's still, like, in pockets, there's active slavery going on. And sometimes they switched it up, so it's like a debtor type of slavery. They enslave you in some kind of way. There's also that 13th or 14th Amendment. What you call it? There's one of those two things. I believe it's the 13th that still allows there's still slavery in the Constitution. It's still allowable in the Constitution. That's why you see people in jail working for like a half a cent a day or whatever the shit is, like super low wages. Like, wages so low that it doesn't even, it's slavery, you know, because they can't buy anything from the high ass commissary as you go to. So when you're incarcerated, and people don't understand, they see this, so I'm gonna put this little tidbit out there. So when you're incarcerated, you act like you get shit that's free, you know, health care, meals and shit, and people thinks it's all good, you know, but it's not. When you get in jail, they'll give you breakfast, and well, at least the last time I visited one, I wasn't incarcerated, but I was on a tour. Last time I was on a tour, they gave you breakfast and a bag lunch. That's it. You don't get, there's no dinner. It was just breakfast and a bag lunch. Everything else anything additional, you're gonna have to buy from the commissary, which is like a little store that you can go into and buy shit. That's when you hear people talking about, I'll put money on your books. That's what that's for. That's for the commissary. And then the commissary shit is extraordinary. Just, the shit should be illegal. This shit is so fucking expensive. Like a tea bag is like $5. You know what I mean? Like shit, toothbrush, like, and all this shit you have to buy. But they don't give you a toothbrush when you get to jail. Toothpaste, you gotta pay for all your toiletries. Now take it, or keep in mind that you didn't decide to go to jail on your free will. So you get to jail and all your shit is what is you're charged for. You're charged for your incarceration. You know what I'm saying? They pay. So that, I mean, the amount of injustice is just deep. You know what I mean? So for people that are incarcerated unjustly, so not only do they remove your freedom, they also strap you and your family with these costs of incarceration. I mean, they're enslaving your family, or incarcerating your family at the same time you're incarcerated. So your whole family has to pay the price for your incarceration, which is unjust. That should be considered cruel and unusual punishment. Constitutionally, that should be unfair. So as far as the 13th Amendment goes, where they can incarcerate you or use you as slave labor when you're incarcerated, and it's in there, go ahead and read. That should be illegal. They need to ban that from the Constitution. This is the only country that has to make rules for white folks' conduct when it comes to humanitarian issues. So as far as like treatment of other people, treatment of people of color, you know what I mean, they have to write that into the rules, otherwise they won't obey it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, that I don't understand that. Just being a thinking person, I just can't. That doesn't make sense to me. Where you have to tell a person how to act. It's supposed to be a Christian nation. You know what I mean? They should know how to tell you. They should know how to treat their fellow man, but they don't. You know, and they look at or they view you as an animal, and then they got it written all in their constitution to force people to comply with these rules. You know? Like, you have to treat people with respect and allow them to vote. Like, you got to write that shit into your constitution. These are U.S. citizens. Why you have to tell U.S. citizens how to act normally? You know, like these things. Like, if you look into the Constitution, these later amendments that have to do with how to treat people of color, that's sketchy. You know, because that means those things are written specifically for people of color. That white people, they don't have to tell white people how to treat each other. You know, they already know, and they treat each other accordingly. You know? Or it comes into question is when they have to deal with a person of color, and then there's all these rules of engagement. Otherwise, they're not gonna act right. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that's a whole nother movement. Let's abolish that fucking amendment, get that shit out of there, so we're not calling slavery by another name. You know what I mean? We're not incentivizing incarceration, which is what's happening right now. There's an incentive to incarcerate people for nothing, for no reason, and you can see this in the justice system when you go for sentencing. There's always a plea deal, like we'll give you 5 years, but if you go to court, we're going to try to hit you with the full 25. Right? So you're giving people fucked up choices, you know, for their freedom based on a system that's already weighted against you. You know, so they're trying to get you. They're not trying to. They're not trying to prove you in it. They're not thinking that you're innocent and you'll prove you guilty, because they're not even trying to give you a trial. They're trying to just tell you what they're gonna give you. Like, I'm gonna give you 5 years. I'm saying, without a trial. So, I mean, where these things coming in, this is the problem with the system. I digress. I'm all over the place this morning, but hopefully I got some tidbits out there. I mean, some things that you can think about. And these white supremacists are coming into town. I would go check that out just to see what's going on, but I don't want to be involved in any kind of civil unrest, any violent activity. I know it's going to turn violent, because they're going to Berkeley, and Berkeley doesn't play that shit. So when they had Milo Yiannopoulos, the alt-right dude, just went there to speak, they damn near burned down the hall he was in. So I already know you got some people actively, some active antagonists over there. We're gonna, that there's gonna be some repercussions. There's gonna be some shit going on. So although I would love to go see it, I would get an elevated viewpoint to go see what's going on, but I have no desire to go over there and get involved with any white supremacists. It's not even worth my time. I mean, this protest something that's going to make a difference, not any of this bullshit. People need to just stay home for that. You know what I mean? Don't counter protest that shit. Just let the motherfuckers rally and chant and do what the fuck they want to do. Just stay home. Don't even entertain that shit. You know, don't entertain that bullshit. Stay at home and watch TV. You know, that shit is a lot more productive than going to watch them motherfuckers. So that's all I have to say about that. But it's gonna be cool. You know, it's gonna be a nice weekend. Hopefully, it's gonna be sunny, and these people, nobody get hurt this time. That's the bad part. I don't like seeing people. Like seeing people get hurt on either side. You know what I mean? These are human beings here. Because they got a fucked up point of view doesn't mean they deserve to get attacked. You know what I mean? I was always told that words are words. You know what I mean? Somebody puts their hands on you, that's a whole nother story. So as far as that goes, I don't wish that type of thing on anybody. I don't, but like I tell people, I'm a pacifist. I'm not nonviolent. I'm a pacifist. So I prefer peace over violence if necessary. There's no reason to go to violence if there's no direct threat. You know, people talking crazy is not a threat to you. You just walk away. Just don't listen to the shit. So I mean, that's where I stand on that. So people, if you're watching this, if you're gonna go to that rally, just stay at a distance. If you got a hot temper, you know, and just don't engage these clowns with you ain't even got to have a conversation with them because you already know where the conversation is going. There's going to be yelling back and forth, so there's no you're not going to get any there's not going to be anything positive coming out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're just yelling back and forth, so there's no real dialogue. Nobody's able to get their point across. It's just going to be a lot of madness. So if you're watching this, stay home or watch at a distance. Let them yahoos talk whatever they gonna talk. Go crazy if they want to go crazy. I mean, let them do it. Let them do what they do. As long as they ain't putting their hands on nobody, I mean, then everything should be all good. Right? But if they do go up there looking for violence, man, if they put their hands on people, let them know that is not tolerated at all. You know what I'm saying? Let the police know as well that kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated. You know, and there's no. I don't believe in protest and violence. You know, and so if there's violence coming from that side, if everything is otherwise peaceful and the violence is coming from that side, then by all means defend yourself. There's no. I don't believe in nonviolent protests. If you're being assaulted, or violence is being projected onto you, then it's your God-given right to defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the God didn't put you here to get beat down in the street. You know what I mean? Like, that person is a human being just like you. So if they feel like they can put their hands on you, then by all means return the favor. But you know, with that being said, everybody be safe out there. You know what I mean? Put some. I have a couple of videos now that I need to edit so I can put them up. But go ahead and leave your comments if you like it, and if you want me to change anything, format. You know what I mean? Any commentary you want me to talk about, anything, please. Please comment. There's always comments are always available or always active on my posts. don't censor any comments, so people can write what they please. It's perfectly fine. I don't get hurt. I don't get butt hurt. So you guys can write what you want, praise or otherwise. You know, so that being said, you guys have a good day. Be safe. God bless.